Hey, Miles here, milesbeckler.com, and in this video, I'm going to answer the question, Miles, why are you putting out content at such an aggressive pace still? Now, I have a friend who's gone through and done a 90-day challenge himself, and he was curious about my frequency of publishing. He's observed that a lot of other content marketers only publish once a week, or maybe even some of them publish as seldom as once per month, yet I'm on this kind of 3 times per week aggressive schedule, and I'm also working really hard to get it onto my blog and get these videos turned into a podcast, etc., etc. So he's curious why I'm doing this and if there might be other approaches, and really just trying to understand why. So I think this is valuable for you to understand why I take this approach, because it's going to help you really solidify your marketing game plan. And once you've got your game plan solidified, you can move forward with confidence. And when you're moving forward with confidence, everyone can feel it, everyone can sense it, and you are going to get to your ultimate goal that much more quickly. So why am I on such a fever pitch with my kind of content marketing? The first opportunity, or the first thing, is there is a window of opportunity right now. I've said for years that there is room at the top, and the people who are leading the kind of knowledge space for internet marketing, which is the niche that I'm in, are at different phases in their business. Some of them are working on building software applications. Some of them are writing books. Some of them are creating $1,000 and $2,000 courses. Right now, I see that there's a window of opportunity in this space for me to put out more frequent, higher quality free content than any of them, which will allow me to gobble up market share. There's a second thing that's been going on that really reinforces this philosophy for me, and that is that we've been going through a very, very good economy. The last 5-6 years plus have been, since kind of the global financial crisis of 08 or 09, has been an incredible boom. And in fact, today here in the US, the stock market is down something like 1,000 points. Cryptocurrencies are getting crushed, and we're having one of the first pullbacks or market corrections that we've seen in a very long time. You might be like, Miles, well, what does that have to do with your content marketing? Well, my philosophy is that when times are good and when money is cheap and easy, most content marketers, internet marketers, and businesses in my niche, they're kind of feeling like they're on easy street. They're feeling like the game is easy right now. So I'm taking the approach of being hungry when the times are good. There's an old fable, I think it's an Aesop fable, and it's called The Ant versus the Grasshopper. And I highly recommend you go read this, but the kind of, and it's just a poem, it's super short, it's like a page or two. But the gist of it is that the ant thinks summer all winter and thinks winter all summer. And the grasshopper has been going around playing his music and hasn't been stocking up his reserves for when winter is approaching. And I know that all markets have ups and all markets have downs. And I believe a lot of people in the internet marketing space have gotten complacent during these good times because money has been cheap, interest rates have been low, everything's been booming, people have a lot of money to spend. People have been spending a lot of their money because money is cheap, credit is easy to obtain for people, so that money flows quickly and easily into the pockets of the fake gurus selling the $1,000 and $2,000 products. They're not really focused on building organic growth and organic audiences. They haven't had to be of service at scale because the getting has been easy. Well, I'm taking the other approach. I'm trying to be of service as effectively and aggressively as I can here in the good times. So if and when we see corrections and that game of easy money for the fake gurus goes away, I've already positioned myself as an authority in the space, literally kind of accelerating the gap between where I'm at with my organic content marketing and where they're at. Because when people can't afford to throw down $1,000 and $2,000 for overpriced, kind of under-delivered products, which is common right now in internet marketing, they're going to go to YouTube, they're going to find my content. They're going to go to Google, they're going to find my content. They're going to go look in the podcast directory, they're going to find my content. So it's kind of a philosophy of putting in the work and putting in the effort now when the times are good. So it's like you reap what you sow, right? So I'm in a sowing phase right now to make sure I'm sowing my seeds so my farm will continue to grow, my seeds will sprout, and I'll be able to continue to grow and nurture this over time, regardless regardless of what the future may bring. I'm building a business that's going to be kind of recession proof, and no matter which way the economy goes, this business will still be here for me. I'm not reliant on people having access to cheap monies. That takes effort now, which I'm willing to put in. But mix that with the idea of there's extra room at the top, because not that many of the people kind of I'm competing with are putting out content as aggressively as I am. That's my window of opportunity to move to the top. Another idea that I really think is important for you to understand is people always want more information, right? Like when we go down a proverbial rabbit hole on a subject matter, we consume all the content we can. We get in the Facebook groups about the idea, people join the subreddits about the idea, people go to the forums about the idea, people watch YouTube videos on the idea, they're reading the blog posts on these ideas. I don't care if this is like the retire early niche in the FIRE, financial independence retire early niche, or whether it's first person viewing drone racing, right? When someone goes down this rabbit hole, they want to consume all the content they can. And generally within a week or two, they've really consumed all of the content that's out there. We saw this first with my wife's main business in the spirituality niche. When people go down that rabbit hole of spirituality and start questioning reality and getting into meditation and thinking metaphysical thoughts, they really consume all the content they can get their hands on. And if you're the one who's publishing more valuable and helpful and interesting content, they're going to consume more of your content. The more of your content that they consume, the stronger that relationship between you and them gets, which increases the likelihood of their willingness and readiness to take action when you promote a product, whether it's your own product, a membership, a physical product on Amazon, or an affiliate product, right? So it's all about that relationship building, and it's about those touch points. Then he really nailed it, and he understood this, that every single video and every single blog post we put out is an absolute asset that will continue to work for us for years and years and years. I believe 3 or 4 of my most popular videos here on YouTube are videos I created over a year ago. That means effort I took one day. When I took one day and I made one video, it took me an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was. Those 4 hours of effort are continuing to attract new people to the Miles Beckler brand now over a year later. With my wife's website, some of the content she wrote in 2009, 2010, which is like 8+ years ago right now, are still bringing new people into her brand, into her kind of ecosystem. They're joining her list and they're becoming customers. So it's the thought that we get residual results from the effort that we put out. And I want my results to compound as quickly as I can. So what can I control in that? I can control how much I'm putting out there, how many little assets I'm publishing. If I put up 1 per week, then I'm going to get a certain amount of compounding over the course of a year. I'll have 52 videos at 1 per week. If I put out 3 per week, I'll have over 150 videos. If I can put out 5 per week, I'll have over 250 videos. Each one of those a small asset. Now, some of these videos get very minute amounts of visits a year later. Others get tens of thousands of visits per month a year later. I don't know as a content creator which ones are going to be super successful and which ones aren't going to be super successful. I've been surprised by which ones go pop and which ones flop many times, enough to be humbled to realize that even after, I've been full-time online since 2010, I really have no idea which videos are truly going to pop and which ones are going to flop. So my job is to just keep putting out the best content I can, answering as clear and concise of questions as I can over and over and over. Everyone generally who's going to be finding this video wants the result of having a successful online business. What that means to you is probably different than what it means to the next person, but I think it'd be safe to say that having a business that generates 5 figures per month in profit, right? $10,000, $20,000 per month in profits is kind of that success level that a lot of people would like to get to. And though that is the result of a lot of effort put forth, we can't necessarily control the results, but we can control the efforts that we put into it. And the last observation and question he had was, Miles, you continue to be the one sole voice on your channel. I do a few interviews here and there. He observed that, or kind of questioned, couldn't I be doing interviews of other experts, of other great internet marketers, and then potentially grow my audience through featuring them on my channel, etc., etc. He's absolutely right. And I think this is a great business model for people, especially people who are kind of new in a niche. If you're new in a niche, new in an area, and you know that you want to go into that vegan dog food space, but you're new at setting up the vegan, making the vegan dog food, you could actually create content by going and interviewing all of the best experts in the vegan niche, in the vegetarian dog food niche, the vegetarian or vegan pet food niche, etc., etc. And then you, through association, by interviewing them, being on screen with them, or being on voice with them on a podcast, or including their content inside of your blog post, you actually kind of get your positioning elevated by simply being there in association with them. For me, it's a little bit different. I'm not really interested in turning this channel into a pitch fest. And if I start inviting other successful internet marketers on to explain their beliefs, the odds are they're going to want to promote books, products, courses, and opt-ins to you. But a big part of my entire philosophy is to help you unsubscribe from more things and stop purchasing information products and stay focused on putting out content day in, day out, whether that content is your advertisement and split testing your landing page in a simple funnel, right? You're doing Facebook ads to a landing page to a funnel, or whether that content is video marketing through a 90-day challenge or blogging through a 90-day challenge. The real trick for you long-term is to put in the work, to put out the content, to test new ads, to test new landing pages, to put out blog posts day in and day out, week in and week out, to put out your videos day in and day out and week in and week out. So I've made the conscious decision on this channel to not allow this to be a stop on the book tour. Because you'll notice if you listen to podcasts or if you watch many of the interviews, essentially every guest, like 80% of guests on podcasts and interviews, are just trying to promote their book. And if they're not trying to promote their book, they're trying to promote their course. And what this means is that the podcaster and the guest are trying to get something from you. My whole philosophy is 180 of that. And my goal on this channel is to give everything you need. I want to eliminate the excuse that I don't know how to build a successful business online. So I'm putting in the work to get all of this content out to make sure 100% I know for a fact that the how-to information is there, because it's not about the how-to information. It's not about the expensive courses that people buy. It's about putting in the work day in and day out. That's the other side of what I'm trying to show, is through my actions, because actions speak louder than words. I want to make sure it's really abundantly clear that we need to stay on these kinds of aggressive content marketing schedules for years and years on end, hence me not kicking up my feet on the desk and relaxing. And I'm in fact trying to turn up my frequency of publishing through all the platforms I'm on, even though I'm a year and a half in and I've created what is actually kind of mind-boggling and blowing my mind in terms of the success I've created with this, but I still see that I'm just getting started. Finally, and the last thing for you, and this is so important for you to have with your business, and this is another part of why I say it's so important to choose a niche that's in your heart, and it's having a big vision. My big vision for this channel is to be the most helpful internet marketer in the world. Now, in my opinion, would the most helpful internet marketer in the world put out one blog post per month? Absolutely not. That's not going to be the most helpful internet marketer in the world, right? That's a kind of helpful internet marketer. And my goal and my vision is to be the most helpful internet marketer in the world. What about one post a week? Not really. I think the most helpful internet marketer in the world would put out multiple pieces of content per week. Now, you might be like, well, Miles, wouldn't the most helpful internet marketer in the world put out a piece of content every single day? There is some logic in that, but the biggest enemy of a long-term success in business is burnout. So I'm making sure I'm in my marathon runner's pace here, and I'm making sure that I'm putting out content and building this whole platform in a way that's going to allow me to enjoy the process for 3 to 5 years, so I can be here with you for the long term, because it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to build your successful business online. I'm going to be here with you the entire time, showing you step by step through my efforts in publishing what needs to be done, while teaching you through the content that I'm sharing what needs to be done, making sure you have a clear roadmap and an example to follow. So that's my big goal. Kind of take that same philosophy over my wife's business. Our main goal with that business is to help 1 million people per month meditate. Now, we don't get 1 million visits per month to the website. So we are so far away from that goal of helping 1 million people per month meditate that even though we're 8 years into the business, the numbers are fantastic. We're incredibly and wildly successful by, just all kind of basic metrics. That vision of helping make the world a better place by helping 1 million people per month meditate, we're not even close to that. So that's why my wife's still doing her video content every week. She's still publishing new blog posts. We're still running ads. She's still doing her email marketing. She is still full on aggressively content marketing. And that, really the last thing to tie back, tomorrow's not guaranteed to anyone, right? We're working today to afford a lifestyle that we enjoy, that gives us a lot of time and location independence and a lot of financial freedom right now. But we're also being careful to keep in mind that we need to pay for our older selves. Being entrepreneurs, there's no punching a clock and getting a paycheck. If things don't work, if traffic completely stops, if conversions completely stop, our income completely stops. And we don't necessarily want to be on this kind of a aggressive pace when we come into our late 40s, our 50s, our 60s, our 70s, our 80s, and our 90s. So we need to structure everything in a way that these assets can afford us the lifestyle we desire later in life. So we are kind of taking a double, triple down approach now to create these systems online to generate the cash flow, to then take that cash flow and put it into assets such as real estate and IRAs and 401ks and our kind of retirement accounts, if you will, so that can afford us the life in the future. And here in the United States, we have the pleasure of having to afford very expensive healthcare. Taxes are fantastically expensive for us. So there's a lot of additional costs involved that are going to remain for years and decades in our lives. So we're just being conscious of that, and we're just making sure that the energy we're putting in today is not only going to afford us the lifestyle we desire today, but it's also going to pay for us to have the lifestyle we desire when we're kind of later in life, in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s and beyond, who knows? And really what the economy is going to do between now and then, what the interest rates are going to be doing between now and then. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. It's a big question mark. I guarantee they'll go up at some point. I guarantee they'll go down at some point. So there's going to be a lot of this going on, and we just need to make sure we're securing ourselves. And the one thing that's within our control, the one thing that we have full control over, is how much content are we publishing, whether that's ads and split tests and landing pages and sales pages, or whether that's content marketing essentially through blog posts, podcasts, and videos. That's the one thing we can control. So we're staying on top of it. We're staying on the throttle. Continue going while the getting's good. I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, The Ant and the Grasshopper. I believe it's an Aesop fable. You should be able to Google it. It should be free. I might take a look around. If I find it, I'll put a link in the description. I hope this has been helpful. I think sometimes I get so caught up in the nuts and bolts down in the dirt, right, that I don't necessarily give very clear understanding of why I'm doing all of these things I'm doing. So this was very much a clouds layer. And when you hear people like Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk talking about hustle, 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 it's all about the grind, it's all about the hustle, this is my interpretation of why that's important. And there's a lot of internet marketers out there who are trying to tell you, oh, well, it's easy, you just need to be smarter. Well, guess what? I'm working smarter and harder. So whoever's coming nipping at my heels, and people are copying word for word what I'm doing here on YouTube, whoever's trying to come nip at my heels, I'm going to outwork them, and I'm going to be more strategic than them, and I'm going to blow them out of the water in the grand scheme of things, even though they're trying to copy and mimic everything I'm doing right here. You will experience that in your niche. My wife has seen it. People have literally come in and copied our entire business. They've copied our keywords. They've copied our titles. They've literally tried to copy, but they can't copy our effort. They can't copy our desire, our willingness to give, and that publishing schedule. If we keep this going and we hustle harder than everyone else, we just blow them out of the water by de facto. And I think that's the approach that has served my wife and I both so much. It does come down a lot to work ethic. I highly recommend that you take this approach, because the more content you publish, the better you get at it, the easier it becomes, the more efficient you become, and the more little micro assets that you put out that will connect you to new users. That helps grow your list. That helps grow your business. Ultimately, it is all about growing that business, growing that audience by giving a lot of value out to the marketplace. And this has been my approach. It's been really successful for me. It's been really successful for my wife. I've taught this to thousands of people. I've seen so many people literally start from nothing or an idea and create an audience, an email list, a distribution system, and a business from pure effort. Right? No special, fancy, expensive anything required for this sort of approach. This is something that anyone can do. It takes a lot of heart, takes a lot of energy, but boy, the rewards are well worth it. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you have. If you have any questions for me on this topic, get at me in the comments below. If you have not yet subscribed, click the subscribe button so you get new videos when they come out. If you have subscribed, there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. If you click that, you'll get notified when my newest videos come out. And that's it for today's video. I look forward to connecting with you in a couple of days with another new video, and I thank you for your time. I really respect your time. I honor your time. Got a little wordy here, but it was one of those things that it needed to come out. I needed to share that with you today. I'm guessing you needed that message today, and I thank you. Hashtag badass to you. If you made it to the end, well done. I'll catch you in the comments. I appreciate the engagement, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next video.